Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a non-bingo-y rack, but I've got a good scoring tile in the F. I've also got too many vowels. Now, opponent changes. Should I also change? Well, I think this is very close. I could play Raffia. 18 points, I think that is better than changing. The other candidate play was just FAA. But I think this is better. Ooh, it's not good. So, FAA, keeping this rack cleave, 12 points. I am going to change. And I'll keep AR. AIR would also be reasonable. So this is a lot more attractive, but I'm not seeing a 7 here. Through an I would have gorditas. Will opponent oblige? If opponent changes again, I think I could play dog. Just wondering about dog star. I'm not going to try that because, even though it would play in column I, row I, but I do have gorditas. Now, do I have anything beginning or ending with A? I don't like to abuse the free challenge rule. That's why I'm not checking or trying dog star. Let me get my bingo down. Gorditas for 63. Pretty good. Do I have a back-to-back bingo? Just the F that's non-bingo-y. And I'm not seeing a 7. Let me consider the floating vowels. Oh, I've got the 4 prefix. What about the A? No, not seeing anything. Jai only takes an L, not an S. Faradizes through an A and an I. So, well, what was I going to say? Through a G I have defrag. Nice, wow, double, 44 points, nice word as well. And a new floater in the E. Do I have a bingo with this rack plus an E? Not seeing it. Let me consider the floating consonants. I haven't done that. Nothing with the J. What about the S? I could have the ESS ending. Not seeing anything. Wow, this feels so close to a bingo. What about the T? A play could begin ST. Strafed. Leaves an S. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. So how can I get value from the F? I could play fast. 40 points, that's pretty decent, retaining the S. Emo chord takes an S. I'm providing 4 brilliant floaters. However, 40 points is 40 points. What would be better? If I kept a good rack leaf, something like ears, I would need to play off D, F and S, and I'm not going to get anything like 40 points or even the 20 points I would need to justify doing that. Yeah, an opponent has taken out column 8 pretty much with emo core, so I'm taking out the bottom of column 8. If I don't play here, opponent may. I'm going with this. No, I'm not. I'm just going to tweak this slightly by playing faders. This gets the D doubled for 43. Ooh, well, this is the problem with turning over a lot of tiles. A long way from a bingo. However, in some ways this is easy to deal with. I certainly need to focus on playing off one or both U's, and the Y is non-bingo and scory, so that should be going as well. So I could play YOU somewhere, or just YU underneath the M. Faye takes a Y, but only an S goes after as. And if I play above, I'm not burning a U. Oh, wow, 56 points for opponents. Ouch. Which, of course, they wouldn't have had with fast. So, what to do? This is what I saw at the top. If I avoid drawing more vowels, I could be in decent shape. The S is useful for emo core. Is there any way? Well, I don't think there's any way to play off the second U. U-zoo is good, but the Z's not in the open. U doesn't provide anything for opponents. And in fact is restrictive because nothing goes in front of MY. I trail. This is going to put me slightly ahead with a pretty decent rack. The only bad draw would be 2 vowels, but I can probably play through that. Now, Faye is good, Maze is good, Mayo is good. Let me... U for 30. Mayo is good, but MAS only takes a T. Okay, that was a false dawn. Yer is good. I could play U at the bottom. That's not as good as U up top. Yeah, I'm going with this. U for 30. And I do draw 2 vowels, of course. But I have a lead of 16 points. So I'm still in the game. AUA looks attractive, although the A is a nice tile. I don't have to burn both of them. But I'm not seeing a way of playing AOU. Now, opponents played 30 points. So I've got AUA. Wow, that's such a dismal score. And providing scoring opportunities for opponent and taking out my S hook. So I'm sure I can do better. What about doing this? AUA. Opponent may be attracted into playing across row H, in which case they'll be providing 3 floaters, and this does have the germs of a bingo rack. I do trail. Opponent can't stick the Z on this double letter square because it's been played, and the Q, well, would only go there with a play like Burka, so unlikely to get the Q doubled. Yeah, I am going with this. Wow, pretty good. So what do I have? This looks super close to a bingo. Well, of course, column 12 isn't available for bingos ending in S. I have Tropins, which doesn't play. Does that have an anagram? Well, I have proteins through the E of emo core. Will opponent be distracted by row H, leaving that precious E alone? A floating E is super useful for bingos. Now, do I have anything through the A of our... It looks like I should do. This is a super high probability set of tiles. Atropines doesn't play. Does atropines have an anagram? I'm not optimistic it does. Okay, so what are the anagrams of proteins? There's porniest. That doesn't play in column 5 or column 11. And tropines. Oh, wow, that's good news. Because protein still plays and is also sweetened by opponent's play because jails is good. I am placing a P in the middle of row A, but that's not the most dangerous tile. And the worst opponent can do is probably, well, the worst, most likely outcome would be a PH play in row A. But is there anything better? Tropines, proteins, porniest. That doesn't feel like a complete set. Pointers and repoints. That still feels slightly light. Now, power is good. So, do I have this? Tropins for 76. I think I do. Let me consider proteins, column 11. 72. This is a better play. I'm going with this. Phew. I was just waiting for that to come up as invalid, but it was good. And I've now got a 40-point lead. Can I hang on? Still both blanks to come. Wow. And if opponent bingos and takes the lead, I'm not going to score much with this rack. Only one vowel. However, Wab is good. That plays in row D. Mast takes an S and a Y. Still one Y to come. What do I have in row H? Do I have any way of playing off B's or W's? Wow, not seeing it. Now, I have Wab in row D, W-A-B. Keeping 4 consonants is always risky. You fear just having a repeat of a rack with 1 or no consonants. So, do better. I can play brawn in row D, turning over 5 tiles. Pretty useful with 2 blanks to come. Opponent takes that spot. I can make the same play in row D, but putting a far more useful floater in column 15. Well, opponent hasn't taken this spot. Opponent has simply allowed me to hang on to my A, which I would like to do. So I can play brown here for 28. Bit is good. So this is 28. What I could do is this for 33, only 5 more points and a rubbish rack leave. So I prefer brown. Is there anything even better? This is 28 points. Nothing to really write home about, but it totally sorts the rack out, playing just 4 consonants, playing off 2 out of my 3 big tiles, and preserving a vowel for next turn. I'm not going to get into trouble next turn, whatever I draw. 11 minutes on my clock. So is this the play? I'm still leaving this E alone, but I'm going to score practically nothing with a column 11 play. I think this is the play. I think it is. I'm going with this. And I missed the blanks, and still 32 tiles in the bag. And no bingo here. I do draw 1 more vowel, which is good. And I have a 40-point lead, which is just going to be flipped if opponent bingos. Now I have this bit and wit spot, but what goes in front of ER? Nothing I've got. Still 2 H's to come. If I drew one of those, I could have played WH something. But not available. Do I have any plays across from the G? G-A-W, G-E-W, not seeing anything. I do have plays through this E. I have baton, which scores almost nothing and doesn't take out bingo lanes totally. It just creates new ones. This feels like a rack where there is a play which is much better than any I've currently considered. But I've no idea what that is. So what do I have in column 1 with this B? So I played a B and picked up a B. That's why the rack looks slightly familiar. Webb not good with 2 Bs. Otherwise that, I think, probably would be the play. Opponent taking an ominous amount of time. Now, Vogie takes an R, which I don't have. B and W go to the right of this O. So I could play Wayne. T goes to the right of the S. Wayne not great. It burns. Well, it keeps BA double T, which just doesn't feel like a good rack leave. Surely opponent's got a blank. Are they going to hit me with a triple? But even if not, even a simple bingo anywhere on the board is going to put me on the back foot. I'd really like to get rid of B and W. So I have Wab. That's not bad. Tent isn't a terrible keep. There's only 1 T to come. Opponent plays in that spot and it looks like they had Drek and were worried about sticking an E in column 15. Alas, I don't have anything big in that spot, but surely I have something. My A can go above the G, but I'm not seeing any good parallel plays. I think tween is good. Keeping bat, only 24 points, good grief. Do I have anything beginning B? What about B went? I think that's good. This looks much better. It's a bigger score. Rack leave is better. Yeah, and surely this is the past tense of B go. The only bad thing about this move is the E next to this triple letter square, but what's left that can go there? H can, and Y, so just 3 tiles which can score heavily, and even a heavy score is likely to be only in the 30s. There's no real opportunity of playing down column 14 with a big tile on that spot and the play getting doubled. So I think this is the play. B went for 33. And I draw one of the blanks. Fantastic. So the rest of the rack may not be completely bingo-y, but I have the prospect of sorting the rack out and potentially bingoing. And look at this, there are bingo lanes all over the board. There's column 14 next to B went, there's the floating G. Well, opponent's taken one spot, but created a new one. Now, do I have... Oh, wow. Just looking for a Maori word or Polynesian word in row A. Is it Haratiki? Wow. I'm not going to just randomly check. I need this to come to mind. Haratiki doesn't feel right. But I could have a bingo here. 8 minutes on my clock, 17 tiles in the bag. There's a good 7-letter lane in column 14. Let me just look for 7s. Not seen anything yet. Doesn't look very promising. Takahiri. Wow, that looks close. I've got the anti-prefix with K-A-I. Wow, there could be Maori words or Polynesian words with this collection. Patiki is good, I think, but that's only a 6. Seven minutes on my clock, so I can't dwell on this play. So let me sort the rack out. KAI would certainly do that. I can't do much about this E spot, and I'm not particularly bothered to play it down. Column 14 would just open. Column 13, I'm looking to bingo given that I've got the blank. I've got KAI here, but that's only 17 points and it's taking out column 2 as a bingo lane. Wow, this is just such a tricky spot to be in. And KAI doesn't score very much. Not seeing an extension to ZEP. What about a play through the G? That's not a particularly precious floater to preserve. No, I definitely want to split up the duplicates. I definitely want to play the K. Yeah, I am going with this. It's not creating anything massive for opponent. And there's still more than one bingo lane on the board. And I don't have to have a bingo to win. I do currently lead. No. I'm going to play Kayart. 28 points. It's more points. More chance of drawing the second blank. And it expedites the end of the game. And it doesn't provide much for opponent. Wow, there's some grim stuff here which Kayart increases my chances of drawing, but I'm still going with this. So, I have Zoo Idol. Doesn't quite play in column 14. Do I have anything beginning with H? It looks close. I've got the hood prefix. I lead by 50. Is there anywhere for Zoo Idol? Now the G looks hopeful. I've got the good prefix. So I've got G and H to keep in mind. 5 minutes on my clock. This is going to be a close one. Especially if opponent bingos G and H. And opponent plays Veil. Great, they haven't bingoed. Remaining tiles, although there's the blank to come in the S, there's a lot of non-bingo-y stuff. So, wow, look at this. Opponent could overtake me even with non-bingos. But I'm looking for bingos myself. So this rack will plus a G or an H. Homoloid is good. Oh, and the H is there. Unbelievable. I'm going to get this down because I'm short on time. If I had more time, I'd look for a better bingo, but homoloid surely is good enough for the moment. Fantastic. Oh, wow. Is that going to be enough to win? There's only one tile in the bag, and there's a Q and X unplayed. I've dodged the Q, which is good news. And this is a pretty balanced rack, and my Y can go under the O and next to the E of B went. Fantastic. So I can play U, Y-O-U in column 14, and I can play Yo in row B. Homoloid. Fantastic. So, has that won me the game? Surely it has. I also have a Y for Masty, which I mustn't forget, so I could play U in that spot. Surely that's going to be enough. I lead by 100. Opponent's going to empty the bag. It's opponent who's going to have to deal with Q and X. The Q is going to end up on opponent's rack, and there's nowhere great for that. Even with the blank, I don't think they're going to bingo with the Q. But what if the X is in the bag? Could they play squished somewhere? I don't think so, and I don't think it would be enough. Even if opponent got a big bingo now of 100 points, they're not going to score very much with a single tile. Now, could I have a bingo here? I don't think I've got a 7, but there's this floating G. I've got the LY ending. I've got the UN beginning. Not seeing anything. Any other lanes to consider? There's a 7-letter lane in row B. Wow. It seems such a forlorn task looking for bingos beginning with H or with a G in it, but you just got to stick to the process. And that was really unexpected. So opponent takes out my masty spot. 36 points. They're not going to go out with Hixt, I don't think. So how long have I got? 4 minutes, loads of time. I could play Queen, Keen, whatever, for 34. That would give me Cloy and Clog, so I would go out. Is this gifting opponent anything? Well, it gives them nicks. I think I probably should be taking out this Ox spot in row B. Does opponent have an equivalent X spot? I don't think so. So, well, how good is this X spot? Can they get the X to play twice? DIX not good. No, they can. The X only plays once. So I don't have to take that out. However, Loy for 31 is a similar score for Queen. Do I have any alternatives at the top? I'm looking to go out in 2. 3 minutes on my clock. I'm in quite a nice position. I'm just looking to win by the biggest margin. This isn't a win or lose situation. And is there somewhere big I should be blocking for opponent? Does opponent have an X play with this Q? I think not. They're unlucky that they don't have any IX plays. Just dwelling on this G in case I have a bingo. I don't think I do. It would certainly blot my copybook to miss one. K and A go in front of Vaz. Nothing I've got. I can't extend Henbit. Now this was the other spot I was thinking about. This doesn't provide anything great for opponent. 31 points. I'm minded to play Keen. So opponent has got Nicks for 30. But they had Ox for 25. And may be able to score more anyway. What about keeping the N back? Is that a sneaky play? I think I'm going to get this game over with. Keen for 34. So what's my best play? 1 minute on my clock. I've got Clog for 14. Cloy, 15. Anything else? No, I don't think so. But that is going to be enough. I played poorly in my last game. And It's something one tries not to do. I had recorded a very long video in the morning for the Patreon channel, a very difficult crossword, and then recorded my Scrabble game fairly soon after. And I don't know if I just had a crossword head on, but I did miss a few things which I was surprised at on review. But nothing one can do about the past. And I'm delighted to have, I think, secured the victory in this game. Certainly some tricky racks. Great, just 22 for opponent. They didn't, well, either didn't fancy Nix or score and count back meant that Hex was better. But certainly nothing great for opponent that I could have blocked. So is Clog for 14 the play? 1 minute on my clock. COL, I don't think I can play through this Y. I think it's just Coley and Cloy. Yeah, opponent's not created anything. I'm going with Clog. And the final score, 350 for opponent, 455 for me, a winning margin of 105 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. Cracking fun. And it was opponent to go first. They changed. My rack. Ooh, a Farah. I think that's better than changing. But IO, not a good rack leave, and the rule of thumb on an opening play is 2 moves, 2 points rather, for each floater. But since there are triplicates, I think that would only count as 6. Okay, I still don't mind changing. Opponent plays Jai, and this is the result of changing. So, Dogstar not good, must be hyphenated or two words or capitalized, and Gorditas is for 63. So, a nice early lead. Great spot by opponent of Emo Core. Just 1 point between us. So, what did I have here? Great no missed bingo. Faders and fast, and I went with faders, which was just what opponent needed for maze, and trapeze also playable in the bottom left. Now, there were some tricky racks in this game, and this is one of them. Ooh. I play you. I could have put an A in front of that, and I should have done, just although the A is a good tile. If it's part of a vowel preponderance, then one should shed it, especially with 3 extra points. But I10, Mazu is good, so I could have played Ayu for 39 points. That would have been a better play. Opponent's right. 4 spent, missed bingo. Wow, 05. Making Mazer through the S of faders. Wow, tricky one to see. They play pro. And I'm paying the price for not burning my A. That could have been a consonant. I could have had a bingo. So I play hour for 14. I10. Achewers and Zeps for 38. I think that would have been a better play. Yeah. Opponent plays Lent. And now I'm rewarded for my suboptimal play. I have Tropins and Proteins through the E of Emo Core, the only other playable bingo. And Tropins are better. Now, opponent plays a Vogie. And I have a couple of racks with these B's and W's to work through. H1 Baron, keeping a B and a W. So I play Brown for 28, which, although it's 5 fewer points, is shedding 1 more of the higher scoring tiles, and the B not particularly dangerous in column 1. This is the rack opponent spent a long time with, and they play Fuji for 25. I'm still in the middle of my BW battle, and Bewend, I was so pleased to see that. Totally sorted the rack out and scored well, and gave me a 50-point lead, but with 2 blanks to come, there was no no room for complacency. Nice play by opponent of Henbit, keeping the pressure on. I've drawn the blank. Did I have a bingo? Phew, no row H Hakatiri teriyaki plays. And Kaya, J3, that was my play for 28. A1, high K playable for 18. Okay, nice play, but 10 fewer points. So I think Kayart was the play. Missed bingo, wow. Opponent plays Veil. They could have played Delusive. Through the U of Fuji, making emo cause. A bit of a hidden floater, but it was available if followed by an S. So well done if you spotted that. Now, this is my rack. I didn't have a great deal of hope, but there it is, Homoloid for 86. And there was a 7, F14, Diabolo. Wow, for 12 fewer points. And I did go through the alphabet, and I did not see Diabolo. Fortunately, Homoloid came to my rescue. And that, well, with one tile in the bag, I was pretty confident of victory, especially with the Q and X unplayed. B4, Hox playable, but opponent burns the Q. Yeah, I think they were at risk of being stuck with the Q if they hadn't played it. And my final rack, and Queen or Keen, that was my play. B1X is just playing a solitary tile, so I think playing more tiles probably better, but perhaps not with a 14-point score sacrifice. Anyway, my final rack, and Cloy. Oh, Cloy scores more than Clog. 1 point needlessly squandered at the end. Well, that's what can happen when you go on tilt, when you can see the winning flag. Anyway, absolutely cracking stuff. Superb game, great fun, tricky racks to deal with, great bingos to spot, and I'm looking at Homoloid, which I was delighted to see. Did I get any other bingos? Gourd Eaters on move 2 set me off on the track to victory. So absolutely superb fun. This is why I like playing Scrabble games like this. So much to challenge you and so much fun to have. Many thanks to opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.